mining has been the backbone of Goan economy for a long time. However, this had two sides to the coin. One was legal mining, one was illegal mining. And after a lot of effort from NGOs, putting pressure on the government and the opposition at that time present, there was who had approached the Apex Court, and the Apex Court had cracked down on all this illegal mining in the state. However, despite everything, despite court orders, despite all the pressures from all the sides, lots of these so-called illegalities or trying to circumvent the law was happening. One of the final things was that 88 leases which were renewals which were given, I think, almost in a day, which were again challenged, cancelled, and they were court had given 6 months to finish everything off. Not happened. But today, finally, after Goa Foundation especially and Dr. Claude Alvares went to the court and finally managed to put pressure, the government finally issued an order stopping all, cancelling all these 88 leases and giving the leaseholders who were in possession of the leases 1 month to get out. Now, today with us is Dr. Claude Alvares of Goa Foundation. Doctor, welcome to our show. I think I should talk less. I think Doctor, you should be able to give us the background first, what exactly happened today, and the background how we finally landed up in this today. Finally, I can say, use the word, I think.
Yeah, if we have to go by all the things that have happened, the first lease was granted in 1929, and today, actually yesterday, the government has issued an order sending out notices, not show cause notices, but notices to all the mining leaseholders, particularly the 88 leaseholders, to surrender the leases now within 1 month's time. That is by 6th of June. So you can imagine this is more than nearly 90 years that this thing has gone on. And finally there's a full stop. Because even after the Supreme Court said that mining was illegal from 2007 to 2012, they closed the leases for some time, then they gave them again. As you said, they started mining for a very short while, for 2.5 years. Again the Supreme Court shut it down. Now when a mining lease closes down, finally, means there is no scope for further renewal, there is a provision in the mineral concession rules which says very clearly that you are given 6 months time to remove whatever belongs to you. So if you have removed some ore and it is lying there, if you have got some piping system, if you have got some buildings, if you have got equipment like JCBs, bulldozers, trucks, whatever it is, you are given 6 months time to remove everything. And then the government is given 1 month's time to inform you. So 6 months plus 1 month. So 1 month's period was getting too long, because the Supreme Court said you get out, the government will invoke these mineral concession rules after 31st of January 2021.
It was like 1 year back, more than a year.
More a year back. Now these guys use COVID and delays caused by COVID and so on to get some extension, because they said no, you couldn't remove everything in 6 months, give us some more time, and so on. They were not willing to take over the leases. And I met the director of mines and I said, this is very unfair, because this is a Supreme Court order for you to take back all these leases. And because these leases are still in the hands of many of these leaseholders, I'm not saying that this is everywhere the case. Most of the leaseholders have given up. I mean, for all practical purposes, they have left their leases. But a few of the notorious ones were still holding on to their leases, and according to information that we have received, information that has been published in the media, information that is available to the mines department, many of them were doing a lot of mischief on the leases. For example, they would get low grade ore onto the lease, then suddenly you would find that they were selling off high grade ore from the lease. So they were doing all this type of mischief, which is only possible because the leases were still in their possession. And many of these leaseholders have actually bought much of the land which is part of the lease because they made so much of money. It was very easy to buy these plots of land because they are in interior areas, the value would not be very high. Anyway, the land is already disturbed, you have removed all the trees, the plantation, the farms, whatever was there. So, you are literally buying junk. So, they have bought the land, and so, you couldn't do anything. So, we were very keen that this would stop, and the government has to do something that is required to do by law and now by a Supreme Court order to take back these lease areas. But they filed an affidavit in the Supreme Court, in the High Court, saying that which is true, but we don't have the staff. We are looking to see, because there will be a lot of problems if we take over these leases. There may be accidents. There may be, the water may burst here, there, whatever it is. All the excuses they brought up say that we can't take over these leases as yet. But we know that we have to take it over, and we will take it over. And the director of mine said that we are already negotiating with the CISF, that is the Central Industrial Security Force, to put people on all these mining leases and so on, because we don't want any accidents to take place and all that sort of thing. So that affidavit was just was brought up for discussion in the High Court, but again, because of the delays in the High Court and all, it has not been considered. And then suddenly we find that they have issued this order, which was issued yesterday. It has come on the website today, and today the press has also got it. It's 176 pages of orders. Each mining lease has been given 2 pages. So 88 leases, 176 pages. And everyone has been told that because of the Supreme Court's direction and because of the law, that is mineral concession rules, please vacate the lease by the 6th of June. After that, it's taken over, deemed to be taken over. Whatever is there on the lease, if you have left any JCB there, that will become part of the government.
Okay. Now, before I go further, like asking what is going to be the way forward, what do you think? You think it will happen, or will there be some more delay, or they will go on appeal, or what do you feel is going? Will the government actually take it up?
See, once this is a notice. This is not a show cause.
Exactly.
It's a notice which is required by the government to be done after a certain series of actions. And the main admission is that the leases are over, because you can issue. You first have got to issue a notice under 12(1) GG for 6 months. So that notice, if you are utilizing that notice, it means that the lease is finally over. There is nothing left.
Was that notice issued?
No, that is automatically in 6 months.
It's over.
Once you utilize, you see, it was not noticed, it was not issued, but the mining companies went to the Supreme Court. And they said that we have been stopped after the 15th of March 2018, we have been stopped from taking anything out of the lease. So the Supreme Court said, okay, you have got the provision of 12(1) GG, 6 months time, we are giving you 6 months time.
Okay.
So they gave them that 6 months time, but then because of COVID, it got extended for a few more months, whatever it is. Then on the 13th of October 2021, the Supreme Court said, 20, not 21, in 13th of October 2020, the Supreme Court said, this is the last installment we are giving you, 3 more months. January 31st, 2021, the state government will invoke the provisions of 12(1) HH. Now 12(1) HH means we are taking over the leases.
Okay.
So these are things that are done by law, as per law. It's very difficult for any High Court or any Supreme Court to stop them, because these are done pursuant to Supreme Court's orders.
Absolutely. Yes.
Now, it is not that they will not file an appeal, because you see, mining companies have, first of all, lot of money. Number 2, they have access to a lot of lawyers. So if you put the 2 and 2 together, naturally they will keep filing appeals, they will challenge these orders in the High Court, they will challenge them here, they will challenge them in the Supreme Court, but they have done everything. So far, they have filed review petitions which are being kicked out. They have filed petitions to claim that they are entitled to mine till 2020 to 2037 because of the 1987 Act. They have got a 50-year lease. They have used all the arguments in the book and all have been defeated. There is only one so far legal opening, according to them. According to us, it's not there, but according to them, there's only one legal opening left, which is that the Supreme Court, when it was considering the appeal against the abolition of concessions and their conversion into leases, that is the 87 Act, by which all the concessions are abolished and made into leases. They challenged it before the High Court. High Court threw them out. They filed an appeal in the Supreme Court. So Supreme Court has passed an interim order at that time in 1998 saying that you can continue mining, but assuming that that order is applicable, that you can continue mining provided you are operating under Indian law. Their interpretation is the Supreme Court has said that you can continue mining under the Portuguese law. So that is stuck up now before a 9-judge bench.
Okay.
So they would have to move an application before a 9-judge bench, which is unheard of, to stay these orders.
To stay the order.
To stay these orders which have been issued by the Department of Mines yesterday. Now, I am not saying that you can't do this or you can't do that. The court system in India is you file an application, you file a petition, you file an appeal, you file a revision, you file whatever you want. You have the right. You are a citizen, you are a company, you have got a leaseholder. You think you have a right, then you can, even if you think you have a right, you can go to the court. Court will listen to you, and if they find that you have some sort of a right, they may issue notice. But I don't know whether the High Court will interfere in a matter where the Supreme Court has said, you please invoke the provisions of 12(1)HH and recall all the leases. That is what the Supreme Court says very clearly. It's a direction.
Yes.
It's not like you may do it. It says you shall invoke the provision, which means enough is enough, take over the leases.
But will the state government say like no, they have gone in appeal, we'll wait, we won't pick up the leases? Can the state government do that?
No, that state government has given up that position.
Okay.
Because the state government took that position
Earlier.
They have taken that position earlier. They took that position in the review petitions, in all the other petitions. They took every time the state government supported them, and they said that we are in agreement that the 1987 Act entitles these people to mine till 2037 and all that. They said all that, but they said that we are bound by Supreme Court's orders, and therefore
they are bound. Obviously, they are bound.
So right now they would have tried to, but the very fact that even in this case which we filed in the High Court.
When you filed this case in the High Court to get this?
This was filed about 3 to 4 months ago.
Okay, and the High Court has.
Issued notice and everything. It's come up for hearing also, but because of COVID, sometimes they cannot take up something which involves. So it could not come up before the present division bench. It was a not before me matter, so it has gone before the separate bench which is set up only on Friday. So it meets only once every week, the special bench. So special bench, of course, is a lot of matters, and sometimes it goes on. Now, one of these matters was argued for 2.5 hours before the matter, but they still couldn't come to some agreement because the Advocate General was not present and so on. So this is going on like that. So there is no finality yet. But even before that could be done, the state government has already considered that you have got to.
So you think they saw the writing on the wall, they got their opinions from everywhere saying that, "Arey boss, this is not going to land up anywhere, you might land up with egg on your face," something like that?
Yeah, because you can't go to the High Court on this matter. You see, they went to the High Court on the earlier matter, which was that we are entitled to 50 years. And the High Court threw them out. They went to the Supreme Court threw them out.
Okay.
So what have they got left? So they can't go to the High Court on this matter because this matter is the state government is acting under direction of the Apex Court.
Okay.
But they will still try to go. I am not saying you don't go, you can't go. I am not a High Court. And I am only telling you the experience of 1.3 billion people in this country that you can go to court and you can file petitions.
Of course.
The court will not prevent you. You pay 150 rupees, you file your petition. Now, only thing is the differences between last time and this time is that we will be there.
Yes, okay.
Last time they did not make us parties. And a matter of fact, the last matter they were in the High Court, the court said, why you not made Goa Foundation a party? This is the judgment passed in the Goa Foundation case. So they had to make us a party. So they made us a party in the Supreme Court. So the Supreme Court listened to us. So in this matter also, they would have to make us a party. But we will also be waiting for them there if they come. If they go to Supreme Court, we will also be waiting for them there.
So what would be the logical thing to do now for the government and for the these people who are in mining, all these companies? What would be the logical thing to do instead of just trying to prolong. There should some solution. What would be the solution according to you?
So we have already done it in writing to the government, saying that there are two options. One is you auction, which is the law. You cannot give a lease today to anybody, whether under Portuguese law or there is no use. Forget about all those arguments.
How can Portuguese law apply in
but these are great. These are under one umbrella they claim to be nationalists, but on the other umbrella they are saying please keep Portuguese law operating for.
No, how is that possible? That is not possible.
It's certainly not possible. Forget about these ideas. We said that the law today, 2015 onwards, is that you have to go for auction.
Okay.
You have to go for auction. Now we said there is one more alternative given in the law, that you set up a corporation.
Okay, that's the Chief Minister has been talking about, that corporation rules.
But he's not serious. The rules are, till today the rules are not properly, they have been drafted but they have not been approved, and they are done very mechanically. Okay. If you want to begin a new phase of mining properly, well, you don't go by the way they have set up this corporation. They have put up the Chief Minister as the chairperson of the corporation. Now, what does he know about mining? He has no understanding. An Ayurvedic doctor. Parikar understood mining because he has graduated in metallurgy in IIT.
Yes.
So he understood about metals. But I don't think that somebody who has got an Ayurvedic degree is going to be very good about this. And besides, Chief Minister has got too many things to do. So why would you have to bother about it? Give it to some, and it should not be done under a politician. We have said put a professional guy there. Get a good mining engineer who has got a good record, who has helped, get from the public sector if possible somebody. There must be many good people who are.
I'm sure, of course.
And there are about 12 mining corporations in the country. Different states have got. So you can certainly get somebody.
But there are mining corporations.
Of course,
managing.
Gujarat has got a mining corporation.
Gujarat itself.
Orissa,
the Prime Minister state.
Prime Minister state not only has got a mining corporation, they have reserved, they passed orders saying that, for example, all bauxite mining will be only in the public sector.
I see.
Now, they are all different states are doing things to protect their own interests.
That's most important, right?
In our case, the mines department is only being wanting to protect the interests of the former leaseholders.
Okay.
That is why we are today here. If this process had started in 2018, when the Supreme Court closed on mining, we would not be there. This is a proposal we made in 2018 to the government, to Parikar, because he wrote to me saying that please send us your proposal. So we sent the immediately proposal to him how they can start mining, what they should concentrate on, everything we said, and set up the corporation, because your corporation is the only way to keep out all the big fellows. The small fellows are bad, the big fellows are going to be worse. Please understand. And if you get somebody like Adani or somebody here who owns the government of India, then where is the question? He will do whatever he wants. It will be a worse situation.
And they've got money power. Obviously, they're going to win the auctions.
They will run the department. They will say, keep this fellow here as director, keep this fellow here as that, and we will run the operation. And so don't expect that mining under auction to JSW, Vedanta, or this thing is going to help. It will be worse. It will be worse for this state. There is no doubt about it. Just forget about mining Goa.
Then in that case, Goa Foundation won't be able to do anything because the procedures have been followed.
What can we do then? And then is a 50-year lease.
Yes.
50-year lease means one whole generation is gone.
Two, maybe.
That is why the people in the mining belt, people in Kaure and all are saying, Baba, we don't want any mining, because now if a lease is given, previously it was given for 20 years, 30 years. Now it is going to be given for 50 years. Then before, by the time a child is born and by the time he is dead, there will be one mining lease. And the environment clearance will be for 50 years. Then what is left? So the only thing that you will have is going to a court to say that he is not doing mining properly, he is doing it in this way, he is affecting our water, he is causing dust pollution, he is causing this, but there will no way to stop that lease because it will be for 50 years.
But that would be very, very difficult. Once a lease is given, I don't think any.
It is always difficult because they will say that this area belongs to us now. We don't know. Exactly. And they will not allow you on the lease.
Yes. So you don't know exactly what's happening.
You don't know what they are doing on the lease, and they can, and not one single miner in this country is interested in doing things properly. They want to cut corners. They want to make as much profit as possible, And they don't want any environment laws, because environment only delays their operations, because they have to do it in this particular way, in this particular way, in this particular way, but they don't want that.
So everybody now, the latest political mantra has been sustainable mining, sustainable mining. What exactly that means? Is just talk for elections, or is it actually governments or the politicians, or especially in Goa, have the political will to enforce this sort of sustainable mining, as they say?
Not one politician has come out in support of the corporation.
Nobody.
No.
What Chief Minister is talking about? Corporations almost done.
He set it up. Everything he does is under pressure. So because there was no way in which they could start mining in Goa, he said we will start a corporation and give the leases which are not 88 leases, but those which are apart from the 88, we'll give them to the corporation. Now that has not worked. Now he has gone in to the central government and he has met Mr. Amit Shah, and obviously Mr. Amit Shah has told him that if you are not able to start mining in Goa, then we will probably have to change the Chief Minister. So he has come back and started another historical round of actions, another historical round. They are not responses from a sober government which is thinking for the next 5 years, 10 years, whatever it is. This is just a politician who is trying to get by a difficult movement. There's some pressure put on him and they're probably telling him that you are a useless fellow. You better start something some way. So now he says, okay, now what do we do? So they have told him that you take back all the leases and start the auctions. Now how do you start the auctions? It's not a simple matter. You got to create blocks. The leases have no use anymore. You got to create blocks, because you cannot do dumping now outside the lease. Supreme Court says nothing can be done. You have to do everything. So you need to give them a large enough area to put the waste and to do everything properly. Secondly, you not do mining like in the old. You can do one pit. You finish that pit, then you got to fill that pit up. Then you got to fill. So all the rules and regulations have changed. Thirdly, you cannot take out only iron ore. You got to remove all the associated minerals also. So you may be interested in iron ore market, but you got to remove dolomite, bentonite, red oxide, so many other things, and take out all that and process it. So it's a very complicated business to do, a mine block auction, and so it will take a lot of time. Now, if you are doing an auction, you will also have to consider that people are living now.
Yes.
And people now, they don't want a sanctuary one day, they don't want our IIT, but tomorrow they can say we don't want a mining lease also. We don't want to be part of a mining lease. You do the lease, you keep us out of the lease. All sorts of demands will come. And then you'll have these miners who have lost their leases. They will say that no, this land belongs to us. We have bought this land, you cannot do mining here. No, that is not an argument, because over the last 30-40 years they have been mining on other people's land. And there is a provision in the law that if I don't own the land, the collector will give me a permit to go into the land and to take out the ore, because that ore belongs to the government.
So basically what you are saying, it's not going to be so easy to start mining ultimately. It has to be done in a systematic way, proper.
Yes.
So I don't know.
And just now they are changing the director, is being transferred.
Okay.
So every 3 months, if you have a director, new director, then you have no continuity. The person is not able to think, and if you keep on changing the directors, then the next director doesn't want to come there.
I don't think it's become.
So how do you operate? And all mining decisions in the state of Goa are taken by just 3 people. That is the mines minister, who is the president, the chief minister, the secretary of mines, and the director of mines. Nobody else in the mines department knows anything about what is going on there. You can walk inside a department and ask, do you know what? Nobody tells you anything.
We had this experience today, so we are aware of it.
Yes, so there's no transparency at all. Even this order which has been issued, at least there should be file noting, there should be discussion in the department, there should be nothing. Suddenly it comes up on the net that we have issued these notices to 88 leases. So it's a very ad hoc approach. It's not going to work at all, and it's simply disappointing people. Because every time you are creating new and new hopes, but you are doing it badly. And all that we said is, listen to groups like us, because we are not opposed to you. We are not opposed to mining. We are not opposed to sustainable mining. We are saying you can do mining, do maybe less. Restrict the areas. Don't go to the ecologically sensitive areas. Go to places where you are already damaged or whatever it is. There are certain principles you can follow, and spend more time in mining rehabilitation and do all these type of things, which you are supposed to do. But you don't want to listen to any citizens groups, because they are only listening to one party, which is the leaseholders who have lost their leases, simply because they feel that they made so much money. They should not be deprived again of the opportunity to make the same amount of money for another 30-40 years.
Yeah, this
So the
is
public interest is zero.
not really there.
The public interest is zero, is just absent. It can be brought into force by just appointing 4 or 5 individuals from this organizations from the state of Goa who are interested in this issue, put them there so that you have at least some independent person who is telling you all the time, look, this may not be correct, why don't you do it this way, but don't do it like a knee jerk, which is what is happening today.
Hopefully they do listen to you, Claude, and they do actually use a little bit of intelligence, brains, will, whatever you call it, take the experts' advice, hopefully, because as you said, you're not opposed to mining, this is on record, and mining can happen as long as it follows proper rules, it goes legal, Hopefully they do listen to you, and thanks a lot, Claude, for coming on our show, and hopefully by the time when we meet next, some sort of logical, sustainable, follow the rules mining starts in Goa. Thank you. Yes, inshallah. Thank you, and keep watching Goa 365.